the pressures that a lot of people put on themselves to bounce back post-pregnancy.
It's the worst. It doesn't serve anybody. And that's not to say you can't have aesthetic goals. You can't want to feel as capable as you felt maybe prior to having children. That's not to say that. You can still want those things, but you have to respect what your body just went through.
I don't think I did anything specific with a thought of a pregnancy, but I did get pregnant in November, and in November I ran a marathon. So I was just training my body to like I would normally. That's something I do and I did many times in the past. So I was definitely in training. I felt, very strong physically. I ran a pretty good marathon, and then 2 weeks later I found out I was pregnant. So it wasn't really planned for, that wasn't my pregnancy training, but I was definitely in a very good shape going into it.
Yeah, no kidding. Jel?
Short answer, no. Nothing different. I wasn't preparing. I knew that eventually I did want to have children, but no specific training. I cycled through different phases, but I really wasn't aiming for anything specific. Healthy longevity, feeling good, sustaining, my career and work-life, training balance.
Yep. Yeah, I would say similar for myself. I don't think there was anything particularly noteworthy with my training. I was doing a strength block and then, a little cardio, a little bodybuilding stuff, just to stay strong, maintain. Yeah, I wasn't doing anything specific, but we were training. That's something we all had in common.
So it was pretty obvious, I think, to everyone outside of me. I thought I was hiding my pregnancy really well. I was like, no one knows. I'm showing. It's great. It's going well. I feel like death, but I'm coming in here every day. Yeah. Nobody knows. Everybody knew because I stopped training.
That was a big thing.
My frequency was reduced. I was training 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
Which is pretty standard for me. And it went down to 0 times a week until like 14 weeks. And at that point, 3 months in, people start to notice, which happened. But I was so nauseous. I really couldn't tolerate many foods. I had a lot of aversions. So I was underfed. I was tired. First trimester, it did hit hard. So I really wasn't doing much. I was walking when I could tolerate that and maybe doing some very low intensity general strength work, maybe averaged like once a week.
Right. Wow.
Maybe half.
Yeah.
Like I really didn't start training again until like the 16-week mark, and even then it was still only 1 to 2 times a week, very low intensity. And then once I hit like mid second trimester, I was able to consistently hit 2 times a week, and I really just kept in the essentials. Like, how can I preserve the qualities that I've built up over this time that are going to set me up to be successful in carrying out this pregnancy, labor, delivery, postpartum.
Right.
And I was able to stay at that frequency at those intensities throughout the rest of my pregnancy, which felt really good comparatively.
Yeah.
I switched providers halfway through my pregnancy because the provider that I was seeing at the time, she didn't ask me any questions to get to know me, my lifestyle, as it pertains to the health of my baby and pregnancy. And that struck a chord with me because I don't know if you two had similar experiences, but when you're pregnant, it's very much focused on you. And then once you go into labor and delivery, it is about your baby and less about you, which I'm sure we'll go into this discussion later on in terms of how we envision pre and post natal care.
Sure.
At that point, the care was still centered on me because I'm the one that's responsible for seeing this pregnancy through. No questions were asked. What are your sleep habits? What's your nutrition? What's your exercise routine? Like, none of those questions were asked. And it was just like, okay, yeah, like do soft, easy yoga, prenatal yoga, but just don't do anything like CrossFit. It's like, that's what you're telling everybody to do. Everybody just go do gentle yoga. To me, that was a huge red flag because we have to prepare ourselves for the demands of pregnancy and the demands of postpartum because they are demanding. And if we're not setting ourselves up for success and our providers are not providing the level of care that we deem appropriate, then
Yeah.
You have to make a move.
Yeah, you switched.
So that's what I did.
My providers did ask good questions in a way that they knew my lifestyle a little bit, and they knew what, I was a coach in physical therapy school at the time, but definitely there were things like, oh, don't do anything new, just continue like your own routine and do what feels good, which just thinking about it now, it's like I was just thinking when Angelica, you were talking about my first trimester, it's like everything I did in training was new. Like literally I went through this whole new program being in Arizona for a clinical, and I just did so much new stuff, and all the new stuff felt great. But what didn't feel good was running, So telling somebody this general advice of like, oh, just continue doing what you're doing, but don't do anything new, that might not be appropriate either, because the one thing that I was 100%, I just trained for the marathon, you know? 10 weeks later, I couldn't run. It just didn't feel right. But PRing in bench, doing pull-ups, sprinting, doing crazy agility drills, like all felt great, and that was all new to me, So again, even advice of like don't do anything new can be scaring people away from things that are maybe the only way they can continue to move through pregnancy.
I postpartum really felt like I needed the support. Well, let me say this, there were phases. There was like the initial phase we talked about where just like I'm just trying to be able to tolerate a little bit more walking. A couple months in, I got to the point where, okay, I'm ready to move a bit more. I want to incorporate some elements of strength training or preparation for strength training, but I just wanted to do the things that I wanted to do. Right? I want to do the exercise, even if they're like the exercises that are easier for me, or that I feel more confident, or they just feel like less intimidating. And I'm just over 8 months out. Recently, I've really craved more structure and wanting the guidance from a qualified coach that I trust. The biggest battle that I faced in returning to training was just getting comfortable training around people again. I felt very self-conscious. I didn't want to train when there were a lot of people in the gym. I would often like leave this beautiful gym that we work out of to go to a not beautiful gym that's close to my apartment because I felt like I could, I was hiding a little bit. It felt safer at that stage. But I'm so grateful, and I'm just a couple weeks into this experience, but I can tell like already that there's measurable progress that I'm making, and there's a guide, and it's appropriate for my current level. It feels very individualized.
We treat you the way we would treat anybody else that walks through these doors.
I feel
we want to get to know where you are at this point in time and program for that person, because that person's going to evolve. So you really have to find the people that support you through pregnancy and postpartum, because it does not get easier. I've found that, once my daughter was born, it makes it all worth it. It's worth it. 100% worth it, but it's hard.
It's super hard.
And the biggest piece of advice I could give is to support yourself in the ways that you need to, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So physically, train. With what you have available to you. I was someone who felt very depleted. I was tired. I couldn't do much, but I did what I could. I've trained many pregnant women postpartum, and it's going to be specific to you and that specific pregnancy. But there is something that you can do to prepare you for the demands of postpartum life and raising a baby into a toddler.
Right.
There's a lot of arguments, is pregnancy an injury? No, it's not an injury, but there's a healing process associated with what your body just went through, right? So you're talking so many changes, and you're also talking about a true recovery process. So even there isn't an injury, but you definitely have to recover, right? You're gonna bleed for 4 to 8 weeks. And
oh my God, I've pushed that out of my memory until this moment.
And that's the thing, like maybe you two have had different experiences. I mean, I had done my own research, but that was not once talked about in any of my
I had no idea.
appointments. And then you give birth and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, like this and that, and then you're gonna bleed for, and it's like, why are we not having these conversations?
Yeah.
It's so alarming.
Right.
It's so alarming.
This is when the focus shifts to the baby.
To the baby, yeah. It's not about you. You just did all those things, but it doesn't matter anymore. We saw you 2 times a week from 28 weeks on, and then 36 weeks on, we saw you once a week, if not more than once a week. And then your baby's born. It's like, see you in 6 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
But your baby, I want to see 3 days after birth, a week after birth, 2 weeks after birth.
Yeah.
But to not stray too far from the question, we have to respect the healing process. So when you are coming back postpartum, you're probably going to have a little bit of an outer body experience. Like you're going to be dealing with some symptoms and a recovery that you have never experienced before. To your point, getting up out of bed could be difficult. You know, whether you have a C-section or a vaginal birth, like you're going to be bleeding regardless. If you have a C-section, now you've just had a major surgery.
Right.
The expectations are so high with the bounce back culture. It's like, okay, you just gave birth and now look like you didn't give birth. It's like, excuse me?
Right.
You cannot have an extreme reduction in calories and then try to sustain yourself and lactation. It's really difficult, all of the culture around postpartum, but we have to your point, the principles remain the same. We have to see what our current capacities are at that point in time. And then we slowly build and we stress test it, but we're doing minor stress tests like, hey, I can't get out of bed. Okay, can you get out of bed tomorrow? Yeah, it's a little easier. Okay, can I walk around the block? Yeah. I walked around the block, but my bleeding increased significantly. Okay, you're not ready to walk around the block yet. We have to respect the healing process and we have to slowly stress it and add on when it's appropriate to add on, right? And that's going to look different for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm still nowhere near as active as I was prior to having my daughter, and it makes a lot of sense because now I'm a caregiver. I work. I have to be a wife, a friend, a daughter, a coworker. I have to raise a human. So time management is tough.
Yeah.
If we stay true to what the physical activity guidelines say, which is 150 minutes a week of moderate to vigorous aerobic exercise, and then 2 times a week strength training, if we can just slowly start to nudge up to those points, we're headed in the right direction.
While I was on maternity leave, where in my head, it sounded like, oh, well, I'm going to have some time to myself, right? Like the baby has to sleep sometimes.
We're going to learn a new language. We're going to learn
book. Yeah. I remember asking people for like book recommendations. Like, I'm going to have all this time to like work on these other, new habits. And then I learned, oh, my son doesn't sleep unless he's on me. And so, a lot of that just went out the window.
And it's hard because everything is upended when you have a baby, right? Like, okay, 14 months in, 16 months in, 9 months in, the changes are exponential. So you're always, it's not like, oh, you had a baby and it's like, okay, you got used to that. It's like, no, there's always something new that you have to adjust to. Is it a sleep regression? Are they learning a new skill?
Yeah.
And that's going to affect you and your ability and what you can do.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of times people are using their past capabilities as, well, I can't do that right now. And it's like, well, were you not sleeping? Were you breastfeeding? Were you, like, it's so different. So it's not apples to apples. And maybe in early postpartum, you're someone who's been training, right? But it was really hard to get back into a routine. And sometimes, like, it wouldn't make sense for you to do a 60-minute one-on-one personal training session. That'd be way too much.
Yeah.
And the beauty of the membership is, like, we can take that and say, okay, what can you do right now? Maybe it's just like, maybe it's 5 glute bridges, side plank for 15 seconds, and then you're going to accumulate 15 minutes of walking. And it's like, now I've actually opened the door for you to get more consistent.
Yes.
So that we can add and build progressively over time. But the progression is you went from going no frequency to now having 15 minutes a day. And you might be at 15 minutes a day for weeks, but at least you are now getting some momentum into, you know, your return to fitness.
We all heard too, like, you know, it takes a village when it comes to a baby, but I think a lot of times people focus on the village of like caretaking, but like, what about, you know, the birthing person body too? My program is now through Move Without Limits too, and I hired a coach, right? I need a coach because I didn't think that I had the capacity right now to think about it myself. And all of us, have the knowledge to program for ourselves. But in this season of life, it's became much easier for you and feel successful the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Because you have that guidance and you just show up.
Absolutely.
Right? Rather than also having to think about am I progressing well? What am I supposed to be doing? Am I following the guidelines? Am I following what I'm supposed to be doing? So I think that it takes a village also applies to taking care of our bodies. It really switches from pregnancy, the focus is on the person carrying the baby, but then after labor, it all becomes the baby, and it's go from all this attention towards you to do nothing for 6 weeks or even more. Some places recommend. So that's not recipe for any type of healing. Bed rest is not recommended for anything.
Right.
I think having that guidance and navigating, the changing body and what's appropriate and what's not. And it's just so important. And then just being able to show up and have a plan.